Funding for this video is provided through a grant from the North Central Extension Risk Management Education, USDA, National Institute of Food and Agriculture.
Good morning, sunshine, and welcome to Make Hay in conjunction with The Ohio State University. I'm Kelly Moore, and this is a presentation for you, my farm families, on the Farms spreadsheet, the tool that will get your assets organized and your succession plan rolling. So time to fill up that coffee cup and gather your info. Let's make hay. Good morning, sunshine, and welcome. I'm Kelly Moore with Make Hay Consulting, and this is Robert Moore with OSU Extension. Today's topic is inputting your information into the Farms spreadsheet. You've gone through a series of videos on how to gather your supplies and your information. Now we're going to take that information and apply it to the Farms spreadsheet. We're going to start with some technical aspects of the spreadsheet. Robert will go over that, show you how to enable your macros, and then we will start on the pink tabs. Robert.
Okay, so I'll pull up the spreadsheet here and we'll get started. So this is the introduction page or introduction tab, and a few things to mention on this page is you need to make sure that you have macros turned on. Macros are computer programs that run in the background that help farms work to its full effectiveness. So to turn on macros, I'll show you how to do that, at least on the version of Excel we're using. So you go to File, then you go to Options, then you go to Trust Center, then Trust Center Settings, and you want to Enable, and Trust. And that should turn on your macros. Now, if for some reason that didn't work or you have a different version of Excel, you can always go up to the Help tab and type in turn on macros, and that should show you how to turn on macros for your version, but that should take care of it. I've also put in a video link there on YouTube that you might also find helpful. The other thing on the front page is safeguarding the information. Remember, this is very sensitive information. You're going to be putting in bank account information and real estate information. So you want to keep this information safe. Either keep it on your computer hard drive or keep it on a jump drive. Probably should not be emailing it to other people, but we'll leave that up to you. But make sure you do safeguard your information as best you can. And then the last thing on the front page is this spreadsheet is being provided for non-commercial purposes. So we would ask that you not sell it or monetize it or make copies of it for other people. So you may want to take a look at that bold language there, but use it all you want. But we just ask that you not sell it to anyone else. Okay, that takes care of the front page. You're welcome to read it all, but those are kind of the highlights of the front page. Okay, so let's move on to family members.
Okay, I am going to go over the Family Members tab. So the purpose behind gathering your family member information is for when the attorney is listing your family members in your estate planning documents, or you're naming your beneficiaries in your estate planning documents. The attorneys, the documents will need the legal names of your family members, their contact information, which is their address and phone numbers. Emails are good, birth dates are good. All those emails, birth dates, not necessary, but good for the attorneys to have. The other reason behind this spreadsheet is giving the attorneys, your team, an idea of who your family members are and how many family members there are. Okay, so what this tab is, you'll see at the top, client and family information. Provide your full legal name and the name of your spouse. Are you married? So that's the first thing you do. Check yes if you're married. If you're not, then you'll check no. So there's drop-down menus. You'll see on the tabs, there's these little arrow buttons for drop-down menus. The first yellow up here is for you. We have gone on and put information in the tabs, Jane and John Smith, just easy, easy information with made up addresses, phone numbers, everything. But you will just start typing in that tab, John A. Smith. Type out your address, emails, and then if you want to make any comments. And then, husband, wife here in the yellow, okay? Then you will get to number of children. In this example, we have 2. You can put as many as you want. If there's more than 10, then I think you just can type the number in there. So child 1, see how we have child 1 spouse, child 2 spouse, and then you will fill in the same information here. I will show you, let's just say there were 4. Do you see how it populates more rows for you to complete? So it will do that. Okay, comments, things that you could put over here that would be helpful information. Say Susan and David were having some marital problems. You may or may not want to write something like that here. On a better note, say Susan and David are expecting a 3rd child. You may want to write that here. These comments, there's no right or wrong things. It's just information for your team to know about. Up here, this is also a good place if this is a second marriage for you, that would be something good to put in these comments as well. Go back to that. All right, then on to number of grandchildren. So again, you've got that drop down menu. If you had 5 or 6, it would come up. So you can populate it that way and then fill in the information. Also here, we are looking for, you could, if there is a grandchild or a child with special needs or maybe on governmental assistance, things like that. That's also something good you could write in these comments. All right, lastly, other family, friends, and beneficiaries. So if you're going to name a beneficiary, maybe a sister, or name a brother as an executor or a trustee, here is where you would populate or the information for here. So you can put in as many as up to 5. Like for instance, if I was filling this out, I would put my mother here. Just as an example, she's a beneficiary on one of my bank accounts. So I may want to put her information here, because what this sheet does is populate for the rest of the sheets. You will see these can be the beneficiaries on your bank accounts, and the information will already be in the spreadsheet. All right, pretty simple, family members, starting simple. Okay, moving on to planning questions. This was the video where we ask a lot of those kind of other questions to get you ready or prepared for your estate planning meetings. So let's start here with, what is your goal for your transition plan? This is just a simple, short sentence that you may want to write. I'll go ahead and flip here to statement of intent. This is really where you're going to get down, in the weeds about what your goals are. So for now, just in this planning question, it's just, let's just put something simple. We wrote in transfer a viable farming operation to Joe and provide equitable inheritance to Susan. So right there, you can put just something very simple, whereas you're going to elaborate your goals and objectives in the statement of intent. Okay. Starting off with, do you have a trust? Yes. This example, we do. Then it'll ask you what the name of your trust is and the year signed. John Smith Trust. And then, yes, you have a copy ready for the attorney or your team. Okay. Will, same thing. When did you sign it? With the will, it's also, do you have any codicils, amendments to that will? Okay. Financial power of attorney. This is your financial documents that allows your agent to act for you if you're living and unable to act for yourself. Healthcare power of attorney, same thing, except it's a healthcare agent to act for you if you are not able to act as far as your healthcare is concerned. Living will, this is not your last will and testament. This is a healthcare document. It is that end of life declaration. Do you want to be on life support? That is what a living will is. So if you've done any estate planning, you're going to have these documents right here, more than likely, and all signed more than likely at the same time. Also, do you have a trust? Okay, you're answering for you and your spouse, so you can put both trust names here. And it's going to be the same years. You probably did your documents together. So feel free to say the John Smith Trust plus, the Jane Smith Trust as well. Okay, next set of questions. Do you or your spouse receive Social Security, disability, or governmental benefits? Do you have long-term care insurance? Do you have a copy of the policy? Are you and your spouse making any payments pursuant to a divorce or property settlement order? If married, have you and your spouse signed a pre or post-nuptial agreement? Have you or your spouse been widowed? Are you and your spouse currently the beneficiary to anyone else's trust? Here, if this answer was yes, I would describe the trust that you're the beneficiary of here as well. Do you have any adopted children, grandchildren, or stepchildren? Do any of your children or grandchildren have special educational, medical, physical needs? Do any of your children or grandchildren receive governmental support or benefits? Do you provide primary or other major financial support to adults or others? What is the current federal estate tax exemption? All right, here we go. This is something that you can Google it, you can look it up. We have last year's amount in here because we started this example last year, but let's go ahead and change it to the amount for this year. Which is 13,990,000. So there we go. That is 2025, 13,990,000. Okay, that is just one person. So don't double it right now. This will show up on the summary spread tab, but we're not doubling it here. Okay, if there's anything else you want to add, you can add it here. You can write it in. Remember, this is just information for your team. Okay, next line. Gifts given, which required a federal gift tax return. So this is only if you filed a gift tax return, not if you gifted under the annual exemption. So this is, so for this year, the annual exemption is $19,000 per person. So you can give $19,000 to anyone and everyone without having to file a gift tax return. If you went over that, then that is something that we will need to know about. So I would input the gift you gave, how much it was worth, and also your attorneys are going to want a copy of that 709 gift tax return. Okay, down here, I'm not sure where the subject matter went, but down here is charities. Okay, so in our example here, we are going to hopefully give to Ohio State and Delaware County Foundation. So I have written the charity information in this block here. Okay, moving right along to future income. This is the question about any inheritance you expect to receive. If you expect to receive a judgment in a lawsuit, if you have any accounts receivable out there, money that you're owed, if you're a beneficiary of a trust. So in this instance, we are supposing that John is going to inherit his mother's farm, and we put how much we thought it would be, and of course that it is a possible inheritance, possible because until the person is dead, nothing is for sure with inheritance. Second thing, and we could have been a little more clear here, Dad's trust at Mom's death. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put John, whereas this is John that would inherit this. Okay. You could be a beneficiary of a generation skipping trust that your parents set up, and you would write this information here. So yeah, and do you see how it's totaling? Everything, when you start to put input amounts in, there is a column here and it will total. Okay. Moving right along. Advisors. This is also information. This should be your team that is helping you work on your farming operation, your estate planning, succession planning project. It would be, and there's a drop-down menu here to help you remember all these people. So we've just tried to help you brainstorm as to who your team is. The family advisors versus the farm advisors, I found it hard because they're both, right? I mean, when you have a team that you trust, it's pretty much both, but you could separate it out if you wanted to. And also always you can click for additional line members. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this back over to Robert. He is going to talk about that statement of intent.
Okay, so the last of the pink tabs is statement of intent. And this isn't a requirement. This is just optional for you. And we've included an example statement of intent that maybe you could use part of it or draft your own. But the statement of intent is just like it sounds. Why are you doing the plan? What are your goals? So that this can be included in your will or trust, and so that your family just has a better idea of what you're trying to accomplish, why you did what you did. Many families that we have worked with in the past found the statement of intent just to be helpful for their children and other beneficiaries when they read the will or trust. So again, not necessary, but if you think a statement of intent might be helpful for your plan, you can go ahead and just delete what our example and write that in. And then any other instructions that you may have for the trustee, the executor, or your beneficiaries, just further explanation of what you why you did what you did, or just specific examples or instructions for any of your beneficiaries. So this tab is whatever you want to make it, but it's there if you want to just add some guidance instruction for your beneficiaries.
And that concludes the pink tabs. Up next, we will be inputting your information into forms, completing the green tabs. The next video, we will go over financials, life insurance. So therefore, your homework, it's homework time. Have you gathered this information? Again, financials, which are bank accounts, checking, savings, money market, investment, retirement, stocks, bonds, those accounts, and then your life insurance. We hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time here at Make Hay.